What's good? It's Coach C. Let's break bread. Food for thought. Let's go deep. Vibe with me on this. What you're seeing now, globally, is not coincidental. It's synchronistic. Everything in nature is synchronistic, universally. And so, anything that happens on the microcosm has a ripple effect on the macrocosm, and vice versa. Back in 2020, there was a disturbance in the cycle of the institutional abuse of the people, human beings. Everything came to a halt, and in the process, the earth, the universe, and the people had a chance to heal. That healing process woke people up. They started to think from multiple dimensions. And think about themselves and what they were capable of and what they value in their life. Because everything stopped. All the noise, all the influence. You were able to expand your mind to the macrocosm and see things a little bit clearer, right? Everyone all of a sudden was on a health kick. They were outdoors running around because they didn't have a job to go to. They didn't want to drive their car. They couldn't get together with their families and friends, so they started to go within to go without. Focusing on self, caring for self. Quite literally trying to reach people with their minds. This was a spark. It sparked a flame in people. And that flame has grown to a fire. That is your consciousness. That is your soul. You're supposed to feel that way. But for the longest time, have been conditioned not to. Not to think about anything but the narrative. Who determines the narrative in your life? Some people might think it's, your parents that kind of set you up. But your parents were set up. And your parents' parents were set up. It's a generational program. And it's abusive. There has been a severe power differential in favor of the institutions of the world for as long as this system has existed. Everything is set up and staggered in a way so as to siphon energy of the people, the masses, for a select demographic, a select few that reap all the benefits without the exhaustion, without the strain, without the pain and struggle and suffering. It is quite literally a system that is set up to sacrifice masses of people's life force. And you've been conditioned to think that it's worth it. That you're not worth more than that. You're worth a lot more than that. To a greater entity. The Most High created us all in in its image, to see through our eyes, to feel through our bodies, to experience and learn what it's like on the microcosm. And the quote-unquote powers that be have exploited that. They took the image of the Most High, twisted it, contorted it to work in their favor. The church, for example, changed the calendar. They changed time, and now it no longer syncs up with the universal flow of things. New Year's Day is April 1st, fools. It's always been. And you celebrate in masses accordingly on January 1st every year, because that is the plan. Every time you gather at a massive event and expel and expend a lot of energy, let's not forget, money is our energy. It is currency. We sacrifice on some level to earn said money, and then we spend it. It goes back right into the system, right back into the pockets of the quote-unquote elites. And we get breadcrumbs in return, and we're complacent and blissfully ignorant. The curriculum is brainwashing. We send our children to an institute to be conditioned to be employees. Not many people break that cycle and invest in themselves and claim their sovereignty as a sovereign entity and figure out how the system works for the elites. Most people end up a slave to that system, drained and exhausted throughout their lifetime, dropping dead by the age of 60 years old, working so hard for their retirement that they never see. And then the insurance companies make you jump through hoops. Your family will jump through hoops for your life insurance policy if you have one. It's all set up for us to be exhausted and siphoned throughout the course of our life cycle. And then our souls, they ascend. They come back if they choose to, and the energy recycles. It's brilliant. It's also evil. Because human beings, they're not pawns or tools or fools to be played with or sacrificed for personal gain and gratification. That is the definition of abuse. The power is in the people, but the people don't know they're powerful because they've been mind-fucked for so long. We drive everywhere in cars to save time, for convenience, to save energy. But in the process, what you're doing is you're disconnecting yourself from the energetic grid. You're disconnecting yourself from source. So everything we've been taught is backwards, man. What's happening now is you're seeing a lot of people, idols that we worship through music, entertainment, things like that. What they're doing is repenting. Because they know the industries they work in. They know what they've had to do to gain materials, notoriety, and success. They've quite literally had to sell fractions of their soul. These are transactional things that happen in life. When you sign a document, make sure you read the fine print and understand what you're doing. because a lot of us are not cognizant or aware of what we're doing at any given moment going through our day. Things haven't changed much since the old days, but they have changed in incremental ways, in very specific ways that make it look more appealing, more acceptable socially. It doesn't really stick out and pop out. It's not as loud, it's more covert, covered up, concealed, misleading, misinformation, manipulation. All of these things are abusive tactics used by Big Pharma, the governments, religious bodies. And it's all to keep people separated, insulated, segregated, bound and confined by fear and lack. Every one of you is a powerful being, and it all starts with your mind. Tap in. Tap in. The world is about to change on a massive scale. If you pay attention to history, we're coming to an end of a cycle. Only this time it's going to be very different. That power differential, that imbalance, is being corrected. The Most High says, this will not stand. The Most High says, this must be corrected. Because that imbalance has affected everything. The universe is to flow as a vortex and expand. But what's happened here is a construct was created to confine source in a perpetual loop for sustenance. And we allow these quote-unquote demons into our minds to influence us and how we move, walk, and talk. And we end up overindulgent, consuming, sacrificing, and not even aware of the fact. Wake up, people. It's time for ascension. Peace, love, and light. Stay up. One.